you sign up for, particularly what we do with ABA with services, whoever's in the home, whoever's around often, I think that family training is not just mom and dad, right? If Uncle Tom is there often, then let's, make sure that whoever is there, gets a proper, training and support and making sure it's a collaboration amongst everybody.
All right, fellas, we are in the innovation zone here at the APBS conference. Late night hours. How y'all feeling right now?
I'm feeling great.
Feeling good?
Tornadoes coming, guys. So for those people who are not in St. Louis, it's a tornado watch here in about another hour. So if we cut this short, tornadoes.
The thing about it is, I'm from Alabama, so we had tornado warnings all the time, and we would get under. Amanda, you may know this. We get under the seats, we do our little, but nothing ever happened. Like it was just like false alarms.
Just heavy rain.
Heavy rain, heavy winds. That's literally
heavy
what it was.
winds,
False alarms. Yeah, so for those who aren't familiar with us, we are a podcast amplifying diverse voices in this field. We want to give a shout out to APBS for having us here. It's been a phenomenal conference. Phenomenal conference. I want each of us to quickly share our biggest takeaway or our favorite moment from the conference. You want to start, Coop?
Yeah, man. A lot of interviews we did were powerful. I would say the interview we did yesterday, I don't want to butcher his name, Dr.
Which one?
Ambulance.
Oh, yes, he was great.
Yes.
David.
Yes, Dr.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Definitely a powerful, impactful brother. That was kind of an interview that we got walking around the conference and gave a lot of gems. And I think it's always dope to see, people that look like us that are doing powerful. And I say powerful because I don't want to underestimate what he's doing as far as, starting a charter school and, superintendent and one of the youngest principals, I think that he said. So definitely want to give that brother a big shout out.
Yes, he was great. What about you, Joe? What was your favorite? What was your takeaway?
Sometimes, man, I think we forget about these people. We forget about the vendors that come.
Ooh, yes.
And we forget about the vendors and what they're trying to do. So I think Sync Grades was trying to attach PBIS to a Roth IRA, which I really found interesting on their attempt to build generational wealth through positive behavior outcomes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I thought that was really, really cool.
In that one quote, he said, I'm not creating barbers, I'm creating barbershop owners.
Oh, yeah, that was powerful.
Yes.
That was powerful.
That was definitely
That was powerful.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No,
that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool just to hear.
Yeah. Man, my biggest takeaway. Okay, my favorite moment was probably earlier when we did our interview with Sharetta and Sarah. That was awesome. Shout out to them. I really enjoyed hearing about their vision for the conference and the direction that it's headed.
Yes.
And then what I really enjoyed, I think y'all missed, but it was the networking on Wednesday in the presidential suite. That was amazing. It was a beautiful scenery. The conversations were great, and it was just a really good way to kind of network in a low pressure environment. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, let's just kind of contact with each other. So those are some of my biggest takeaways. So. Yeah. I want to switch to the audience. The audience here, I want to be able to call on you guys.
Do we need a mic, Alex?
What was you guys' biggest takeaway from the conference? I guess we're going to start with...
Anybody.
Anybody can go.
Any one of the 100 people in here.
Far left, yes. what were your biggest takeaway from the conference?
My biggest takeaway today, I would say, is just witnessing how much... passion, drive, work ethic, relationship building, healthy coexisting, just like vulnerability goes into the work that everybody here does. I don't think I really got insight, from the outside looking in. And so just sitting and listening to every speaker, every other person who maybe not be speaking but inside the chairs, like I heard so many conversations that I feel like people are gonna to be able to walk away with this for years to come and just like have a very great impact for today. So shout out to everything that y'all been doing. I'm also gonna pass the mic because I'm a little tired.
No, yeah, you're good. No, thanks for sharing.
Shout out to you. Shout out to the photographers, to you guys.
Yes.
You guys capture these moments.
Yes. That's one of their biggest moments, or where they had an aha moment from the conference. It's okay with we won't bite.
I really enjoyed, I'm a school psychologist, so worked in schools for 10 years. And then, but now I'm a BCBA and I work with families.
Okay.
Awesome.
And so I went to a presentation. It was really good to hear what some of the schools, my families are low income, so Medicaid recipients, things like that. I work with a lot of young adults, but the ones that have school-age kids are low income. And so it was really good to hear what the schools were doing. It kind of just reminded me of some of the schools that I've worked with. 'Cause I've worked in a lot of low-income schools, and you kind of being out of it for 10 years now, you forget the work that goes into it.
Yes.
And so it was good to hear kind of what the school districts were doing, parents' perspective. Some of the speakers were parents, administrators, things like that. So it kind of just renewed, like, okay, the schools are on our side, and even if they aren't, like, hopefully, we're still going to work with them, because I am working with the families that have school children. I've never helped the school, you know, and
Yes.
I'm on a lot of meetings, and the school looks at me like, no, been there, done that, worked in schools, I'm here to help. Tell me the problem, what can we work on individually during our therapy sessions. You know, but it was really good to hear all of the things that are going on, and the interest in other people asking questions, and how are you doing this? How are you doing that? Just the drive to make things better.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Ask questions.
And I just want to say the one thing that's really stood out to me I want to add to is just it's been an open environment here at APBS. You know, sometimes you go to conferences and people aren't as inviting, you know, or it's like really cliquey, or, you know, people kind of aren't open to networking and sharing. So one thing that we really, and we go to conferences a lot, we travel a lot, it's just really open, free-spirited energy. People are here to learn, people are here to collaborate, people are here to celebrate. So that's one thing I really enjoyed about APBS as well. Anybody else want to share before we move on about like their biggest takeaways from the conference? No pressure.
I'm really excited being on the side of operationalizing it and being able to hear the feedback. But one of the things that I'm very proud of is the speaker, the kickoff to the conference.
Yes.
Joe's
fire.
He brought the energy, and he did what we wanted to do, which is the times right now are difficult for all educators and those that service individuals within the educational system, special education. And so his task was to inspire everybody. And I feel like when he was done, there were tears, there was laughter, and people came out of those rooms and they were charged, ready to make the connections, be intentional about the direction. And that's really what we wanted. So I'm very excited about that.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I think we all have, does everybody have a drink in the crowd? We pass hours? All right, can we all hold a glass to all the people that made APBS, the operations, people giving drinks, everybody. Let's give a shout out to APBS. Everybody, cheers, cheers, cheers. Woo! Cheers, cheers.
All right.
All right, we're gonna switch things up a little bit. I wish we had some music playing, Alex. We're good though right now.
have some music.
Should we do a rapid fire? Rapid fire? All right, we're gonna do our rapid fire. All right, guys. You guys don't get nervous. All right. Here's the question.
We need music though.
We do need music, but we get it eventually.
awesome.
If I could change one thing about behavior support, what would it be? Okay, if I could change one thing about behavior support, what would it be? Joe, you want to start with that? What would you change?
My answer, behavior supports. I would probably make it somewhat mandatory that all of the stakeholders of that person's life are in attendance at most meetings.
Yes, that's important.
Yes.
That's super important. Super important, yeah. Coop, if you could change one thing about behavior support, what would it be?
I'll probably have to piggyback with Joe, man. I think that, we had a dope interview earlier about family collaboration and getting everybody on the same page. And I think that is something that should be mandatory, when you sign up for, particularly what we do with ABA with services, whoever's in the home, whoever's around often, I think that family training is not just mom and dad,
right?
If Uncle Tom is there often, and let's, make sure that whoever is there, gets a proper, training and support and making sure it's a collaboration amongst everybody kind of thing.
I love it, man. I love it. I had to piggyback off that one. So I think we're all in alignment here with the power of collaboration and having those important stakeholders involved, because they can make all the difference. We may feel like we may know individual, but having those stakeholders there. So I'm gonna have to piggyback off you on that one. What about people in our audience? If y'all could change one thing about behavior support, y'all work in the field, y'all seen the field, what would y'all change?
A hand up came up fast.
Tell us how you really feel.
I would absolutely change the default of just wanting to punish behavior.
Yeah, ooh, yes.
The issue with kids, help solve problems for kids, understand what they're communicating to us. People just jump to punishment. It's like a default. So just giving people tools to switch their mindset, look at kids through different lenses, I think is critical.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, and we all know, we behave around something, we all know the side effects that come with punishment. We always want to recommend reinforcement procedures first, because, punishment comes with so much negative side effects, and the negative modeling, the emotional effects of the kid, all that kind of thing. So we always want to continue to advocate for reinforcement procedures first. Positive reinforcement procedures first when we can. So great point. Anybody else? If you could change one thing about behavior support, what would it be?
Okay, from the working in the homes perspective and having that school background, I wish laws and things like that would change in the sense that the district that I worked for would never bring in outside people, because their perspective was, if we bring in outside, like if the family BCBA to come and serve, then we're not providing that.
Yes.
And now we're going to get sued
Because
of that,
family disputes
all of this. So you see a reluctance in schools wanting to invite the home BCBA to come in there and help with that child. So that's kind of my thing. There's got to be something to where that fear has to be taken away, the policies, the suing, the things like that. So we can do so much more with the family, because a lot of my families with kids in the schools, that's our main concern, is the school performance. Yet the schools won't let me in because they're too scared to be sued, or we can do this, but I work in the schools. I know those people that do FBAs and things like that are overworked. So something with that has to change, where there can be a more collaborative home and school.
Yes, it's actually. I hope that, even with this podcast, that we can kind of break that barrier down, because at the end of the day, it's for the best help of, the child and for the family and, for other people. So for there to be so much political with it sometimes is like, that's so unfair for that child that needs services. So I love that you brought that up just now.
Great point. So one of the things that I really wanted to do with this conference is I wanted to disseminate to people who weren't able to make this conference why it should be at the APBS conference. So if you had to explain this conference to a colleague who couldn't attend, Joe, what's one sentence that you would use?
I would say it's a meeting of minds. It's a meeting of people from diverse backgrounds whose only goal is to attempt to change behavior in a positive way.
Yeah.
And I think, we don't think about that as much.
What about you, Coop? If you had to explain this conference to a colleague or friend in one sentence, what would you say? Who couldn't attend?
You should have been there. I'm gonna say that, but I mean, this is what I will say. Jerron got me into this conference space as far as, doing this and networking. I was a little more reserved and more to myself, and it has been an amazing experience. And I think that, it's something that, from RBTs to BCBAs, that this is something that everybody can get something out of. And I love that, they were intentional as far as the marketing and making it fun. And even with this right here, to, try to be innovative and give us a shot, which, we thank you a million times over for the opportunity to do this. But just the fact of that you guys are doing that. And I think this is something that for a lot of people that don't understand this conference space, like myself, you gotta just get out there and do it, because now that I started, I know I'll definitely be here next year. Yeah. So
yeah, I love that. I love that. And one thing, I'm gonna clap it up for you. One thing that you mentioned, which is honestly my favorite part of conferences, is networking. They say your network is your net worth. And when you really come here and you network with people, you make connections. That's one thing that I've done here at this conference that's been amazing. I've met some people. We've met some people that we're going to meet with. We're in the process of building a school right now, for those of you guys that know, an academy in Atlanta. And we met somebody, our brother today, who's going to really be able to push that forward. Yeah. So. That's the first one, I think. Actually. First time we made it public.
I didn't know we were going to say that.
It's actually the first public announcement. We initially wanted to build a ABA clinic, but as we really started to think about our values and the legacy that we wanted to leave, we said, why don't we build an academy? So we came up with a name, 3K Academy. I want to give us a shout out because we just got our zoning. Our zoning just got approved. Yeah. Our zoning got approved. So you guys be on the lookout, because this is our first time telling the public, but this academy is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's going to infuse a lot of different principles from ABS. I don't want to give too much away because we haven't made a period, but we're announcing it here at APBS at this school that we're building is going to be really, really impactful. So we're really proud of what we're doing.
Cheers to 3K.
Cheers. Yes. All right, one other person. If you had to explain this conference as we reflect on APBS, if one of y'all had to explain this to a colleague who couldn't attend, how would you guys explain? What would you guys tell them in one sentence?
Come and leave inspired.
I love that. I love that. Uh-oh. The spotlight's on.
Just one sentence, that's all.
This is a promo.
Network and connect.
There you go.
More champagne.
As a speechless. I've been coming to APBS since Denver. So those old school APBSers are going to know Denver. Mm-hmm. And this 2025 was amazing. An amazing experience. The innovation, the community connections was awesome. So, like I said, I've been involved with the organization for years and years, and this has been an amazing experience.
I love it.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
I guess I would say it's inspiring, and it renews my trust in schools.
That's deep. So next year, the conference is going to be in Minneapolis, I hear.
Minnesota.
Have any of you guys been to Minneapolis?
I have not.
Isn't the world's biggest mall there?
The Mall of America is in Minneapolis.
Mall of America.
Yes. Yeah. So
is Anthony Edwards.
Minneapolis, guys. Let's quickly talk about Minneapolis. You guys looking forward to that next year? You looking to go in? Anything in the city you guys looking forward to?
Definitely gonna go see me at Timberwolves game.
All right, Timberwolves game. What you got?
100%. Yeah.
Go see Ant.
Gotta see Anthony Edwards. Atlanta guy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward. I've only been in Minnesota one time. And it was during a basketball tournament, so I didn't really get to experience it. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I think one thing that I'm really looking forward to is continuing to see how the conference committee at APBS and how they continue to innovate. Yeah. One of their valid things is innovation and inclusion and equity. That's the values here at APBS. So I'm looking forward to continuing to see how they innovate, how they continue to include, how they continue to just bring more people into this space. I think it's really important. I just love everything APBS stands for. So I'm looking forward to getting to Minneapolis as well. So, all right, I got a question for you, Joe. So I won't put you on the spot.
Oh boy!
If this conference had a theme song, what would it be?
Theme song. Jeez, because you don't want to go with nothing slow. So it's not a slow jam, guys. I'm thinking like, what was the Lean On Me theme song?
Oh yeah, Lean On Me is good. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know the name of it.
Who made Lean On Me though? Who made that song?
I don't know.
Who's the originator?
I'm drawing a blank.
Okay, so why? But why? So the better question is, why would it be "Lean on Me"? What's that? Why does that song come to mind for you?
So Lean on Me, I mean, of course we know the movie, but I just feel like this conference kind of represents some of the change that was on Old East Side. You remember Old East Side?
Come on, man.
And then there was New East Side. Obviously, that was punishing procedures. We don't want to do that. But he did some reinforcement in there.
Yes.
A lot of reinforcement in the movie when they were singing the theme song in the bathroom. All right. So I'm thinking Lean on Me song, but I'm trying to go with something hip, like a Michael Jackson, We Are the World.
Ooh, I was thinking.
So that was what I was thinking about too.
Okay, a couple came to mind, but I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna take you guys back, but "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey. I wish I could play that right now. That's a great song, and it's a perfect song. Just committed to, we got to continue to believe. We got to continue to make changes, and can't be afraid to make those changes. So, what about you, Coop? Oh, shout out to Alex playing the song. Y'all want me to sing? I'm a big karaoke guy, so
Go ahead, no.
I need the lyrics.
Go ahead. Put it in chat.
Living in a lonely world. Y'all gonna sing with me?
I'm gonna say.
Took the midnight train going anywhere.
That's verse 2. I'm coming.
Just a city boy. For the mic. Born and raised in South Detroit.
Let's go.
Took the midnight train going anywhere. Hold on. All right. We cut it.
That was pretty good. Man, this is Mike.
I'm gonna open up to the audience. Can I be Beyonce, by the way? I'm just playing Sharetta. If y'all had to give one song to describe this conference, what would it be?
They not like us.
Oh! Alex, can we get that one? Can we get that? That's out of me.
I love it.
Oh, man.
You can't tell us. We don't care about the tornado. We're here.
All right, hold on, Alex. Let's give a shout out to Alex on the mic on the keyboard.
Hey, keep the next win, Alex. Alex, you gotta do it. Oh boy, you getting good?
Oh, thank you. Oh man, we're having too much fun back here.
That was fun.
No, that was Shredder. That was perfect. That was perfect. I wish Sarah was here too, because I feel like Sarah would have stood on business on that one. Yeah, Phil. I mean, so as we wind down here, I just want to quickly reflect for, again, those who couldn't make it, and for those that were, that's a tornado. Amber alert?
Yeah, that's it.
Tornado. Okay, y'all just heard that in real time. We are recording. Take shelter now. So we are actually gonna wind this thing down. Oh man. It's extreme. It's extreme.
Yeah, man. Who's outside?